Welcome to Love in the Love Boat, where we break down episodes of one of the greatest romantic comedy drama television series of all time. I'm Istvan, Chicagoland's beloved children's musician and TV fanatic.
And I'm Michelle, pop culture enthusiast.
So come aboard, we're expecting you to join us for another edition of
Love in the Love Boat.
Hello everyone, it's your host Istvan, and of course...
Michelle.
And where are we, Michelle?
On the Love Boat.
We are on episode 20. It's a weird episode in my opinion. And we have the storylines of Taking Sides, written by Hugh Wedlock Jr. We have Going by the Book, written by Jerry Winnick. And we finally have A Friendly Little Game, written by Ray Brenner. Michelle, please tell me who is on this episode.
Making another appearance is Diana Canova.
Canova! She plays Ellen Desmond, people.
Yep. Then we have Georgia Engel, who I love. She was on the Mary Tyler Moore Show.
Oh, yes. She plays Sheila Lawrence on this. She's the ditzy blonde eternally.
Yep. Then Robert Mandan, Max Watkins.
Yeah, he's a famous character actor. He was also in the movie Zapped.
Also, both of them were, him and Diana Canova were both in Soap.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
Yeah. Then Audrey Meadows is Gladys Watkins.
Yep.
To the moon.
Keep it going, baby. Keep it going.
Harry Morgan, Wendell Sneed.
He is, of course, most famous for MASH.
Robert Urich as Scott Desmond.
Yep.
Priscilla Morrill as Ida Sneed.
Hey, way to get that information because that was not on. They didn't say her name, did they, when they credited everyone?
I don't know. I got it from somewhere.
Wow, very good.
Thanks. And then there's Paul Sylvan as Bernie.
No. Oh, yeah, okay, you're right.
And then Herb Voland is also named Herb Lawrence.
I don't have that. I have Harvey Jason.
As
Howie. Who are you talking about?
I'm talking Herb Lawrence was married to George Engel. She played, isn't he I don't know.
Maybe that was the dad of her.
Oh yeah, you're right. That is her dad.
No,
Sorry.
dude, who cares about him? We don't need him. We need Harvey Jason, who plays Howie. And I, ladies and gentlemen, the only thing I'm interested in this entire episode, quite honestly, is how much he reminds me of Donnie Iris.
Really?
Yes. Why?
I don't know. I guess I have to think of what a picture of Donnie Iris looks like.
Well, I'm going to let the entire world know because that is going to be my entire focus of this episode. Because he has the great, there's a time in music, when it turned from 1979 to 1980, and there was this weird new wavy power pop music that was being made. Donnie Iris had one of those songs in Aaliyah, which is a great, great song. I love it still to this day, but he's the oddest looking pop star of all times, and he looks just like Howie. All right, Michelle, where should we begin on this show?
I can't remember who comes on first. Is it the married couple? Just married?
No, the whole episode begins with this Howie character, a.k.a. Donnie Iris.
All right, yes.
And I like it because they're not on the ship yet. I like when they do a little, shooting, on the streets, right?
Correct.
And so he's with his other weird disco friend with his shirt wide open and a gold medallion in his, nest of chest hair. And he's telling him, hey, dude, have some fun on this ship, and here's a book for you so you can slay the ladies.
Thanks for bringing me down, Bernie. I really appreciate it.
Howie, what are friends for? Just promise me one thing.
What's that?
You spent a lot of money on a cruise. Don't blow it. Get some of the action.
Oh, Bernie, I'm not like you. I can't come on to girls the way you do. With women, I'm a verbal clod.
True. That's why I bought you this.
How to hit on girls?
Believe me, it's not about karate.
No, this isn't gonna work, Bernie.
Oh, yeah? Well, what do you say to a girl when you first meet her?
I say, my name's Howard. What's yours?
Terrific. With a line like that, you could become a monk. Excuse me. I don't mean to be forward, but are you a professional model?
No, Bernie.
Oh, go on, laugh if you want to, but this stuff is dynamite. You're going to score so much, Burt Reynolds is going to be calling you for pointers.
Bernie, I don't want to score. I just want to meet a nice girl.
Well, I have one word for that whole scene, or two words. Ted Bundy.
Oh, yeah, that's a pretty good call because he was a handsome man. He had that same hair as Ted Bundy, too.
And he has that car, and he literally, because he gives him that book on how to, pick up women, and then he uses a line on a random girl.
Yeah,
and she gets in a car with him and drives away.
he just should have had a Volkswagen because that's... Well, tell the people who Ted Bundy is.
I think everybody knows who Ted Bundy is who's listening to this podcast.
Yeah, I guess so.
So he literally went to a woman, told her she was something about being a model.
Exactly, about being a model. And she was a model.
And then he's like, could you use a ride? Okay, stranger, let me hop in.
So Ted Bundy gives him a book on how to make it with ladies and how he heads off to the ship.
Meanwhile, married couple, newly 5 hours married couple, Mr. and Mrs. Desmond arrive. And everything's peachy, but as they're checking in or talking to Julie or whatever, the older couple comes in.
The Sneeds?
The Audrey Meadows.
Oh, those two.
Yeah, and they're kind of fighting.
Max, will you kindly not make a scene here?
This is ridiculous. We're stuck on a ship for a week with 600 strangers. We could have been in Rome.
We've been there 3 times. I am bored with Rome.
Bored with Rome? 15 years ago, you were happy to have a nail to hang your bathing suit on in the bathhouse at Coney Island.
Yeah, that's why this thing, I mean, there's some cool stuff on this episode, but I really, like, it basically, there isn't a whole lot for me to super, like, offer on this episode,
no,
quite
it doesn't.
honestly.
My notes are the shortest notes of any
That's
episode that we've ever watched.
That's why we're doing it this way, because it's like, there is some pretty cool stuff in the middle, but, like, we could really sum this up in about 1 minute's time, basically. Because the older couple is sort of like a potential reflection of themselves, 20 years down the line. 25 years down the line.
So they're probably our age.
Yeah. And it's kind of cool. Like, there's a cool way that they reveal all that in a really, really fun way, I think, with it. But it's like, again, very rapidly, after you see this older couple bickering, we are in the cabin with the young couple, and they are on their honeymoon. And I think we all know what you're supposed to do on your honeymoon, although it was a really weird scene.
Enter a shuffleboard contest?
Yeah, they said that stuff.
I love shuffleboard.
Robert Urich has his weird little kid pajama bottoms on, and then she comes out in some weird negligee that's so much material that I don't even know what that's all about. It's so bizarre.
70s.
And then they hop into bed, and it's kind of a bizarre exchange, but then, rapidly, their relationship starts to get sort of like tinged, tainted, or cursed by the older couple.
Well, what do you say to get some sleep? I want to get up early. I hear there's a shuffleboard contest tomorrow.
Oh, golly, we don't want to miss that.
Oh, darling, we're so lucky to have each other.
Yeah. Not like that couple in the dining room. I mean, here we are in each other's arms, and right now they're probably at each other's throats.
Well, let's not think about them and their silly fighting.
I have other things on my mind.
I do, too.
But she sort of does have a point.
What are you talking about? She's the one who dragged him on a ship he didn't want to be on.
Then he should have been more involved in the planning. Like you were involved in our honeymoon.
What are you talking about? I asked you if you wanted to go to Aspen, Hawaii, or Miami. You said, let's take a cruise.
Are you sorry you're here?
I didn't say that.
Well, then exactly what did you say?
I don't know what I said.
Well, then it must not have been very important, or you wouldn't have forgotten it.
You ever sight the Gettysburg Address?
What?
That's important, and you forgot it.
I married a crazy person.
We haven't even spoken about Harry Morgan's situation.
It is ridiculous.
It's implausible.
Because this old coot gets on with his oblivious wife, and they have done what? To get on this cruise to see their...
That's what I didn't get. She's like, I've never seen them. Like, nobody could have sent
Seen
her
who?
a Polaroid. Her grandchildren.
Her dumb grandchildren.
Why would you say that they're dumb?
Because they are lackluster grandchildren with the names of Sarah and Billy. Who names their children Sarah and Billy?
1970s TV.
Oh, that's ridiculous. These children, it's pitiful that those are the names they were saddled
The
with.
thing I found odd is, like, so whatever, she can't fly, so that's why they're taking the cruise. She's like, I wonder what they look like. The parents couldn't have sent a Polaroid?
I don't know.
Or a picture?
I don't know.
They had cameras back then.
What is the daughter doing living in
Maybe your
Mexico?
husband is a Mexican businessman. Who knows why she's in Mexico living? But the point is, to claim you've never seen your grandchildren is ridiculous.
Also, what is ridiculous is that he mortgages their home to pay for this trip.
You're
having a good time, aren't you?
Oh, yes, Wendell, thank you.
You deserve it, Ida.
But, dear, how did you afford all this?
I told you not to worry about it.
Well, I will worry about it unless I know.
Well, I took out a small mortgage on the house.
You took out a mortgage. How will we pay it back?
Ida, I know where to get the money.
But we only have our pension. We could lose our home.
Ida, haven't I always managed to provide for us? I know we haven't lived like kings.
I'm sorry, Wendell. I trust you. I know everything will be all right.
Well, then give us a smile. You're here to enjoy yourself, remember? That's better.
So many singles
Oh, what? So many singles, what?
can afford to go on this trip. Why can't he?
I have no idea, man. That's why it's just like so crazy. And so his big, I mean, it's a great idea, I think. I mean, it's a very clever idea that if you want to make up for your lack of funds, that you go buy a novelty deck of cards. And
Marked deck of cards.
yeah, and so that is your plan to hustle people to make back the money you need for the second mortgage on your home to get onto the ship. I mean, it's just like the premise of this episode is, it's kind of silly, although I don't dislike the episode. I like the episode.
Right.
And I like the way that they handled everything, and all the people were really like good, like as far as like their characters, the people who they cast. It's just some of those things were hard for me to like really like, no pun, get on board with some of this stuff. So Harry Morgan, you know, like hustling everybody.
That's hustling the crew. But who can't they hustle?
Doc?
Doc, because his, third or fourth wife was a blackjack dealer, so he knew that they were marked cards.
Hi, guys. That was my best shot.
Doc, we got a problem here.
I almost had a problem. A kindly old gentleman almost suckered me into a gin game.
You didn't play with him, did you?
Are you crazy? He was working with a marked deck.
How do you know it was a marked deck?
Elementary. I had the hands of a surgeon, the eyes of an eagle, and an ex-wife was a dealer in Vegas.
But also, speaking of Doc, it's funny though that the other thing that was implausible about this and made it difficult for me to like get completely into it was that the Georgia character, the innocent character, she's going on this cruise. The dad is totally nervous because she's too innocent for this cruise, and the captain puts Doc in charge of her.
Right.
Doc is like the most notorious like Lothario on the ship.
Wouldn't you put Julie?
Yeah, that's what I mean. So it's like the captain, who is like letter of the law kind of a guy, choosing Doc doesn't make any sense whatsoever because his reputation would have preceded him. But Donnie Iris gets into her right away, and there's a funny thing with Doc in the beginning where he does take kind of his job as a chaperone seriously.
You're looking for trouble.
Really, Doctor, I can take care of myself. As long as neatness doesn't count.
Let me lay it out for you. That guy at that table is nothing but a cruise ship cowboy looking to add another notch to his life preserver. He only wants one thing from you. He'll take your heart and rip it apart, and then he'll stomp on it and squish it and turn it into hamburger meat. And then he'll leave you on the dock crying for your mother. And then you know what he'll do? He'll just go off and look for somebody else.
Do you think you could introduce me?
I don't mean to be forward, but are you a professional model?
I used to be, but now I'm a doctor.
So those are the things that are fun. Like the acting in like all of the ways that people are doing stuff on this episode is really fun. And then there is some, serious stuff as far as like Harry Morgan, like living this secret basically and being completely freaked out about, owing money. And
Well, anyway, he's hustling them, and then, as we stated, Doc knows what's up. So they devise this, elaborate plan to hustle him to get their money back, because he's taking money from Julie.
Yeah, well, what's the plan, bro?
That they're going to, Gopher's going to play cards against him. Somehow, Doc is with binoculars in the window.
I like that everybody could look in each other's cabins completely, from the window.
That is so horrifying to me. And then...
You think if it's that expensive and you have to mortgage your home that you have a little more privacy.
And then... Somehow Isaac's commandeered the speaker system.
I love that whole thing, man.
He's giving clues over the speaker system.
He's collecting fours and clubs.
Luncheon is now being served in the choral dining room. Our special today is number 4, club sandwich. May we also recommend our chicken a la king? Our chefs really put their hearts into this one.
Hey, speaking of the speaker system, did you notice that in one part there was a whole other person who was doing announcements which you've never heard before on the ship? And to me it sounded like the voice of the robot from Lost in Space.
Oh no, I didn't notice that.
Good morning. The 12 o'clock luncheon seating will begin in half an hour in the choral dining room. Bon appetit.
The other reason that I'm kind of like racing through this one is because also it's a lot of fun gags basically. So once you know the gags, you know the whole episode. So this Howie character is a really likable character. He's just the typical sort of nebbish, dorky guy. And he's pursuing this also very innocent, klutzy woman. And that keeps happening, and Doc just keeps getting in the way of it in a really funny way. It's really good, but that just keeps happening over and over until...
Wait, what about the part where he is wanting time alone with her, and then he makes a fake, house call for Doc, and he goes to that couple's cabin?
Oh, yeah.
Like a porn star's cabin. Adult film.
Well, he had, this shorty robe on.
That was like they were filming an adult film.
It was funny. That's a funny scene. See, a lot of that stuff happened. That's what was really enjoyable. So he goes, he tells him that he has his upset stomach so he can get some time with the girl.
Come on in, Doc.
Oh, God, you're gross. You're so gross. And then it's like, he just storms in thinking that he's there for the house call. The attractive woman's in bed. And then the big mustachioed guy has his shorty robe on. And he's like, can I help? And he's like, I'm doing just fine on my own. I'll let you know. So that was a very funny, those things happen throughout the whole thing. So it's enjoyable. It's just you basically know what's going on throughout this, right?
Right.
And then at some point, when he does get alone with her, the Howie character, he has been relying on this book the entire time. He doesn't have confidence in himself.
Right.
And so he's doing sort of almost like a book version of Cyrano de Bergerac. He's doing well because the girl does like him. And then she finds the book and she gets very upset.
Oh, hi, Sheila. Hi, Doc.
Doc isn't here. I haven't seen him for the past hour. He must be making house calls.
Oh, come in. If I'd gone without seeing you for another 5 minutes, I wouldn't have been responsible for my actions.
Oh, Howard, you always have the perfect thing to say right on the tip of your tongue.
Baby, this isn't just one of those things. This is a for-real relationship.
Oh, Howard, you make me so happy. I can't wait till you meet my father. He was afraid I'd meet one of those phonies on board. Someone who'd take advantage of me. But you... What's the book?
Book? Is that a book?
No girl can resist this line. Baby, this isn't just one of those things. This is a for real relationship.
Sheila, no.
How to hit on girls.
Oh, please.
How to hit on girls?
Please.
How about how to hit on boys? How about how to hit on...
Speaking of fighting and couples, the newlyweds and the older weds are both fighting at this point. Neither couples are talking.
Yeah, they're not getting along.
So the two women are sitting at the poolside bar, and then the two men are sitting at the actual bar talking. And
I'm sorry to interrupt, but there's a quick funny clip prior to all this with Isaac offering his advice.
Gentlemen, I spent a lot of time over the years dispensing advice. You want to know what I think? I don't.
And again, I think everybody on this episode really just shines, as far as how likable and funny they can all be, the whole cast. And I won't blow something because there's one other major thing that I want to offer that you and I have already discussed, and they basically reinforce and reiterate what we said way back in the beginning. But continue with the two couples.
So the two gentlemen are sitting at the bar, kind of discussing their problems. And then at some point, Robert Urich says he's just going to apologize.
And the other person, Max, though, is giving kind of not awesome advice, though.
Mm-hmm.
Listen to me, kid. Play hard to get. She'll come around. You gotta keep women under your thumb or you'll lose control.
Well, I got a better idea, Max. I'm gonna tell her I'm sorry.
Why? You weren't wrong.
Neither was she. Max, someone's gotta say I'm sorry. Or each day the anger gets buried a little deeper until one day you find it so deep it'll never come out.
You don't understand, kid. Marriages may be made in heaven, but they're lived in Pittsburgh. What Gladys and I have may not be perfect, but it's what we've got. And that's okay with me.
Well, if it's so okay, Max, how come you're sitting here and she's sitting over there?
So after they have their discussion, the younger couple, he goes and apologizes to his wife. They make up, they walk away. Then the older couple, he's going to apologize to Audrey Meadows. It was really emotional because she looked like she was going to cry, and it was like real serious. And then like she said she's been waiting for him to say that or whatever. And then they make up, which is really important, I think.
Well, it's just kind of cool because the older man, thinking he knows everything and that he's been through it all, actually learned something valuable from the younger person. True. And him saying that, you can just continue down this path forever and it takes somebody else to say I'm sorry. And he realizes that. I mean, he was never like gone completely. He valued his relationship, but I think he was just kind of jaded and had an older person's perspective on what a marriage was.
25 years of marriage is a long time.
Yeah. And so the fact that they both gained something from one another was really cool.
And they became friends.
Yeah, I thought that was great. They all decided at the very end to go on vacation together.
Yeah.
Scott and I have been talking it over. What do you say we all spend our vacation together next year?
I think it's a wonderful idea.
Yeah, we could go to Rome.
We could go to Aspen.
Rome? Aspen? We were thinking about another cruise.
Oh, well, if you insist.
If I'm forced to.
Now, the thing that I was talking about, and I think we should wrap this one up early, is that we have said before that the crew is like a family. And on this episode, they agree with what we had said a long time ago.
Mr. Sneed, we know that mortgage money has been on your mind, and so the crew got together and they decided to give you this.
What's this?
That's the money from the ship's emergency fund.
Oh, we use that when one of us is in trouble. Why are you giving it to me?
Well, like Isaac said, when one of our family is in trouble.
Family? You'd consider me family after what I've done to you? After I lied to you? After I cheated you?
Being part of a family means knowing how to forgive, too.
And here we are, back where we started.
How lucky can one man get? I've got two families.
Not only do they reiterate, our belief that the crew is kind of like this little family, but they are so kind and so nice and want people to be happy that they donate money to this person who really honestly doesn't necessarily deserve it. And
I like the whole part too, like when the grandchildren come on the cruise and they're getting the tour, he's just solemnly sitting by the pool silently, like in shame.
Yeah, he's very upset.
Well,
he did the other one too in the room earlier where he's like hands on his head. He was completely distraught, like his whole world had crumbled around him. And then Sarah and Billy come running up.
That little girl was wearing like a 1950s kids
like
dress.
A confirmation dress on or
like
something.
Weird...
I did not like Sarah and Billy. I don't care. I'm sorry. I don't have to I'm around kids all the time. I do nothing but entertain and try my hardest for children, but I did not like Sarah and Billy. And that really is it. I mean, that was the episode. I mean, they kind of...
Back to, we didn't finalize Howie and Georgia Engel's character.
Oh, yeah.
We're did I hear correctly? They got engaged?
Maybe they did. I don't know. I honestly don't know.
I'm pretty sure at the end they were talking about being engaged. And then when they're leaving the ship, her dad comes back on and he's like upset that she's kind of met up with a guy.
She's engaged. How could that be? 1,000 to 1 shot. Oh, she doesn't know what she's doing. She's an innocent.
Just be happy that she's found someone to love her for what she is.
You're right.
But then, wait, what happens at the end?
Believe they got engaged. They're going to live happily ever after.
Yeah. And that's nice because they were kind of like suited for one another. Yeah. So that was pretty good. All of that was good. There were some heavy things in it. It's just like, you know, this one really like they kind of coasted on a lot of like what was happening. So there was a lot of just like gags and things to watch.
Probably blew all their budget on the Computer Man episode. So they had to just make like a quick and easy follow up. And also, did you see they used our favorite like B-roll of the captain again, where he's on walkie-talkie guiding the ship back to the port?
I wish like Ed Wood, we could go find all that B-roll of the Love Boat and just watch that.
Yeah, because I think I saw a cameo of the guy. He's got like a thick, almost afro, but not really, and a really bushy mustache. Sometimes he plays a waiter. Sometimes he's just a character in the crowd. I think I saw him in the crowd on that episode.
Oh, wow.
I'd love to know that guy's backstory.
I don't know. I truly don't know.
If I see him in one more episode, I'm going to make it my life's mission to figure out who he is.
All right, you guys. This was a quick one. We did like this episode. I enjoyed this episode.
Yeah, it was pleasant.
Hope you guys enjoyed this episode.
We're getting towards the end of season 1. Thank you for joining us on this journey.
Don't mortgage your house to go onto a cruise.
No.
Just get the deck of cards first. Then hustle people with the deck of cards.
Then get the money. It's a smarter way.
Yes. Do it the opposite way. That's why the Love Boat teaches you valuable lessons. So, until the next cruise, the next episode, and the next series of valuable lessons, I am Istvan.
I'm Michelle.
Captain Stubing, please come to the bridge.
And we are loving the Love Boat. Hi guys, it's me Istvan, host of Lovin' the Love Boat. And before you go, I wanted to invite you to check out my other show, Istvan's Imaginary Podcast. Yes, it is a kids and family show, but I think it's a show anyone can enjoy. Here, take a peek.
Dialing now.
Okay, remember, don't get nervous.
Hello, this is Louis speaking.
Oh.
Hello.
Say the rest.
Is your refrigerator running?
Excuse me?
Well, why don't you go catch it?
No, he didn't say it. Oh, you did it wrong. Okay, just go to the next one.
May I speak with John, please?
John, there is no John at this residence.
Then how do you go to the bathroom?
Toby, is this you?
Oh, Alex, hang up the phone. That was awesome.
That was so fun. I feel so alive. Let's do it again.
Colorful characters, award-winning music, and humor and content in a capital G-rated glory that can take on any other podcast out there. So whether it's with your kids, nieces and nephews, grandchildren, or just you and your inner child, Istvan's Imaginary Podcast is available everywhere podcasts are found to make you all smile and sing along. Check it out today.